sensational job. You graduates have had several years here at the second oldest university in our country, and in this beautiful place called Williamsburg. It has given you new insights and knowledge, new friends and experiences, and it has opened new frontiers for you. You will leave here to start developing the rest of your lives and your futures. Do it well, but along the way, never forget why you came to William & Mary. It will always be part of you, and thank you for the privilege of being your chancellor.
There's something that we should know about him as we prepare to give him this honorary degree. Bill said to the president of Washington University, to be perfectly candid, we thought the first degree we gave him was honorary. this. This is a portrait of the American dream. The richness and diversity of this audience, and what we come here to celebrate today. These ceremonies are unfolding across America, and they are unique to this precious place that we call home. You find here the working class and the privileged. You find the prosperous and the poor. You find the recent immigrant and the long-standing Americans. You find ethnic and racial and cultural diversity, the likes of which you would not have found on these occasions just 20 years ago. So we know that these are difficult times, but these occasions are a reaffirmation of the American dream, and for all of us, graduates and families, and those of us who are privileged to be guests, this is a sense of renewal. My friend, the late and exceptionally gifted columnist Art Brokaw, would like to say on these occasions to the graduating class, we have given you a perfect world. Don't screw it up. It was always good for a laugh, whatever the circumstances at the time. But, of course, during these times, it's a little more difficult for me to issue that order, even in jest. You are leaving this sanctuary of learning and innocence in a season of uncertainty and anxiety. Daily, there are painful reminders of the economic model that has defined your life in too many ways proved to be a house of cards. Indeed, at the moment, it is in a shambles and it will not be easily repaired. And even then, it will have a far different shape and it will evoke far different expectations. Somehow, in too many instances, we did lose our way. We allowed greed and excess to become the twin pillars of too much of the financial culture. We became a society utterly absorbed and addicted to consumption and dismissive of moderation. A friend, a very successful businessman who nonetheless lives a very temperate life, says appropriately that in the future we have to think about replacing want with need. He said that we should awake every morning not asking what we want that day, but what we need.